Hello Tall Beans, how are you all? Yes, this is a different setup and I'm kind of digging it, I quite like it. This is the first time I am filming a video in my new flat, which is very exciting, and not only is that the first time, but this is the first podcast type thing that I said I wanted to do, and we're doing it, so it's firsts all around. How exciting. As you can tell by the title, I've decided to go with a very interesting, interesting for me, first podcast, that being the female idols of K-pop. I thought it was very fitting in the background to have the female K-group videos, music videos, so that will be happening in the background. I'm kind of nervous about it actually. I kind of am just talking, and I don't usually just talk. But I just thought, do you know what? I've said I've always wanted to do it, so it's time to bite the bullet and just get on with it. And I thought, why not do a video at the same time? Also, just as a quick disclaimer, I'd like to apologise. I do have a cold. No, it's not coronavirus. It is a genuine cold. There's a lot of mucus. You're welcome. So yeah, with that, I guess, let's start the podcast. I need to think of some creative jingle. What can it be? It's the creative jingle that no one asked for. I don't really know what else to say, but we'll keep going. I don't know. I'll have to work on something. The reason I decided to start with the female groups of K-pop is because I've often been known to not really enjoy female K-pop groups, and I was thinking about it actually. I was like, I often say that I'm not the biggest fan of female K-pop groups, and to be honest with you, it's because I completely forgot that female idols got me into K-pop in the first place, and it's something that I need to keep reminding myself. It's that there's not all boy groups that I enjoy, and yeah, it's just a really stupid sentence for me to say that I don't enjoy female idol groups, and it's a complete lie. So I need to stop saying that, and I thought that what better way of doing it than creating this podcast, my first one, and explaining to myself, because I'm sure not many people watch this, but explaining to myself why I am wrong. So the main bulk of it being is 9 times out of 10, I prefer to listen to male idol groups because I think I prefer their approach. I think they're a lot fiercer, whereas like female idol groups are quite cutesy and quite innocent, and I just find their songs are a bit too, what's the right word of putting it? They're just not my flavour of song. I kind of like the sort of hard-hitting or sort of the deep beats or like very melodical music. And I just find with a lot of the K-pop female idol groups, they're just too cutesy for me. However, I have to sort of, if I look at the female idol groups that I do enjoy, which I'm going to discuss on this video, I have to realise that actually the female idol groups that I do like, they're not all like that. And it's the same with like boy idol groups. Not all of them are going to be Stray Kids, BTS, SF9, ONEUS. Like, they're not 80s, they're not going to be Monster X. Sorry, just to name a few. I don't want to leave any out in case I offend someone, which I probably will because I would have forgotten someone. Probably got 7. There we go. That's another one. Where was I going with that train of thought? I don't know. Okay, this podcast has already turned into a failure. I apologise. But my point being is that the groups that I do listen to, female-wise, they are quite powerful, I find. Like the Mamamoos, Red Velvet. But then, like, Red Velvet have got cutesy songs. So the first group that ever got me into K-pop, if I haven't already discussed it before, was Girls' Generation, and it was the song G. So that was released back in 2007.
It's false.
bloody hell, I'd literally just started senior school. I was 11.
It's totally made up.
So that was released in 2007. Was it 2007 or 2009? Hang on. Yeah, it was 2009. Well, I got that wrong already. So, okay, so it was released in 2009, so I was 13. That was kind of when I started to get into my own genre of music that wasn't something that was reflective of sort of what my parents were listening to. So growing up, often I was listening to like Linkin Park, I was listening to Good Charlotte, kind of a lot of like pop punk type music. And then on the flip side, my favourites were being S Club 7 and Steps. So I did like sort of the upbeat, good rhythm, naff songs and fabulous dancing when it came to songs in terms of like Western music. So the first time I listened to Girls' Generation G, it was just eye-opening. It was something that, looking back now, who I am, so what was that? That was nearly, what am I, 25 now? So it was 12 years ago that I got into K-pop. First, listening to G on YouTube and watching the video, it was just like completely eye-opening. The song captivated me so quickly. Just the opening scene of all of them as mannequins and, you know, in the shop, and then all of a sudden they come alive. And it was, do you know what? It kind of was nostalgic, meaning it, you know, I was into Steps and S Club 7 and having that upbeat, dancey feel to it. And G was completely that. And to be honest with you, I think that it's really difficult nowadays, especially when I try and introduce people to K-pop music. And they go, well, you can't understand the lyrics. And it's like, well, that's to say in other countries, not everyone speaks English, therefore they can't hear the words of an English song, but they can still enjoy it. It's just the most stupid thing that I've ever heard in my life. But that's what I love, the power of music. You can be from a completely different culture, completely different background, and you can still enjoy the same things. And for me, that, like, music brings people together, whether it's through dancing, whether it's through the rhythm, whether it's through the melody, whether it's through the words. Like, just music is so powerful. And for me, Girls' Generation, it started the whole knock-on effect of my love for K-pop. And I will always be grateful for this song, in all fairness. So Girls' Generation was formed of 9 members, and they haven't disbanded, but 3 of them have left the group for solo careers in acting and singing. If you guys are avid watchers of the Vogue skincare routines, you will have seen, potentially, Tiffany Young, and she was a former member of Girls' Generation. So, you know, no matter where you are, you will have heard of Girls' Generation, whether it's through the song or the people. You're lucky. It's fabulous. But the thing about the song G, and I'm only specifically talking about this song, is that it was, well, I'm going to give you some statistics. So in my eyes, it was the pioneers for a global reach from an Asian country to a global audience. That was my opinion, and these stats back it up. They were the best-selling single of 2009 in South Korea and was named the most popular song of the 2000s. In 2016, it was voted the top K-pop girl group song in the past 20 years. So it wasn't just me that thoroughly enjoyed this song, but what I heard through the grapevine is the fact that it didn't have the best outcome when it first was released, but actually it took a couple of years after the song was released in order for people to have for the song to have the impact on people that it has nowadays. And to me, that sort of shows this song has stood the test of time. And even now, I bet if you asked anyone, any generation over in Korea about Girls' Generation, their first instinct will probably be G, or it'll be, what is it? What's it called? boy, baby. I got a boy. That's one. See, I know the rhythm, but I just can't remember the thing. What's this? Oh, this is a good song. This cracking song. I'm so hot. Anyway, it had the most records for the most consecutive wins before Gangnam Style in 2012, and this song came out in 2009. So just imagine how popular this song was. And like I said, the singing and dancing together, it wasn't lost on me, obviously being a massive Steps fan and S Club 7 fan. But for me, like, the visuals of the music video was just something new and exciting. Like, I can't put my finger on what it was about it, but it just hit differently. It just hit differently to the songs that I was used to, and it was just so captivating. And to be honest with you, I'm someone who, I tend to like to listen to music that not many people have heard of. And when I first heard this song, I was like, yep, no one's ever going to have heard it. No one's going to have listened to it. This is kind of like my own little secret here in the UK. Because obviously, like, I saw the views, so it had a few, like, 1,000 views, million views. And it felt like my own little secret. And then because I went to an international school and there was quite a lot of Chinese and Japanese students, and one time, I just remember this one time, this story where me and a girl called Katie Lou, we were on the bus to go to a netball match, and I like to like compare music, so we had a headphone in each, and I was just really curious about her type of music and what sort of music she listened to, because every time I saw her, she always had her headphones in. So I was like, oh, can I listen to some songs, whether it's from where you are back home, or any songs that you've potentially picked up here in the UK or over in America, just this sort of exchange music type thing. And the first song she played was Girls' Generation G, and I kid you not, I started to scream because I was like, oh my god, like, I love this song, it's so catchy, it's so beat. And she was like, you've heard this song, how? And from then on, every time we saw each other, we just were exchanging like different music songs or different groups. And to be honest with you, she sort of solidified my love for K-pop, because she got me into Big Bang, she got me into who was it at the time, Super Junior. So she got me sort of my love for the male K-pop groups. And so from 2009 through until about 2017, I would say, I only listened to male K-pop groups. I don't ever recall listening to a girl group between that time. I sort of dipped in and out. I lied. That was a complete lie. Because my second favourite group of that sort of era as such was Miss A, and my favourite song was Hush. Kiss, 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 baby, hush, 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 baby. But then what was the gap between them? When did Miss A? Oh, okay, so Hush came out in 2013, so okay, I'm not completely lying. So between 2009 and 2013, I only listened to male idol groups. And then I stumbled across Hush by Miss A, and that gave me a completely different spin and understanding of K-pop music. I always thought for the women it was going to be sort of upbeat, perky, dancey, bubbly, and then all of a sudden this song comes out that's like sultry and sexy. And it was the first time that I'd like reading the comments, with Suzy, because all the males loved Suzy, and how there was such a crush on her. And with Girls' Generation, I didn't really ever see that. I saw them sort of, all the comments and stuff about them as a group. I'd never really like maybe it was because my age as well, I was only 13 and now I was 15 and I'd sort of hit puberty and I'd been around boys, and so I'd seen friends sort of get crushes and... Oh no, I wasn't. When was 2013? Oh my god, I was 18. Okay, so scrap all of everything I've just said. I was 18 and I sort of had a better understanding of, you know, sort of sexuality and wanting and longing for someone, and whereas at the age of 13, you know, that was never on my mind. I was a tomboy. I'd go out and get dirty, like playing skateboarding or just falling over because I was Bambi on ice. Honestly, Hush changed my understanding and opinion of female idol groups. It was the first time also that I started to take an interest in the individual members of a group. It was, I don't know, it just completely changed my whole concept. And actually also, it was the first time that I saw like the comeback stage, and it was the first time I sort of explored a group in so much detail. It wasn't just the music, it was understanding the personalities of people. And to be honest with you, I think I must have watched Hush about over 100 times, hands down. I was so mesmerised by the fact that the whole music video was a very dark concept, and it was very, like I said, it was very sultry and very sexy. But at the same time, there was like an innocence behind it. And my understanding at that time, after sort of, you know, Big Bang and sort of the not backlash, that's the wrong word, but people were very questionable regarding some of their concepts. And it was the first time that I'd seen a female girl group that receive a bit of backlash regarding the video. And I remember seeing a comment saying that this video should be taken down, it's too sexy, it's too, like, it's not good for children's ears or eyes to see and watch. And I don't know, I feel like this song was very much a very standalone song in this sort of year. But I also think it paved the way for a better understanding that female idol groups can do more than just be cutesy and be adorable. It was proving that women can be more, they can be seductive, but at the same time they don't need to take their clothes off. And do you know what? I think that's had a massive impact in like my life. I don't ever think to be sexy you need to wear a minimum amount of clothing. I think it's how you wear the clothes. I think it's your attitude. And it sounds really silly, but this song sort of solidified that for me. I've always grown up in a household where I've never had a mum who worried about her weight or her looks. It was more about how she felt. And I never felt that pressure going to the school that I went to that I needed to look and be a certain way. Obviously, there was pressure of I had to act a certain way, as I was bullied for my music taste and for not agreeing with what certain people say in my friendship group. But that's a whole other story that I will get ready and prepared to talk to you about. Actually, now thinking about it and talking about it out loud, Hush actually had a really big impact on me. And I think I'll actually always be very grateful for that song. It's only just now come on Spotify. I've been searching for it for many years on Spotify and it was never on there. And now it's on there, just as a side note. But I think I'd always be grateful for Miss A for that. I won't lie though, I didn't really enjoy many of their other songs. And there was part of me that wishes they were around for a little bit longer. But do you know the other thing I found out the other day actually? Is that my favourite male actor, Lee Min-ho, used to date Suzy. And apparently Susie's pregnant now, and potentially she could be married. And although I know that he doesn't know I exist, it broke my heart a little bit. May have had a little tear, just because he is just so wonderful. But hey ho, each their own. Maybe I'll find my own version of Lee Min-ho. he's a beautiful man, isn't he? Let's be honest. Moving on. The next girl group that really had an impact on me was Red Velvet. Well, actually, Red Velvet and Mamamoo. And the reason I put the two of them together is because these are the two groups that, when I first started listening to them, they had one song each that I, was interested in, but the rest of them I wasn't really that bothered by. But it was the first time where I saw and heard speaking of Mamamoo, heard and saw a group of female idols and really got to understand their personality. And what I mean by that is, obviously, I watched Wendy on We Got Married, and it was the first time, because I thought her personality was quite quiet, a little bit quirky, but not really. But it was the first time that I saw her on the We Got Married that was very real and it wasn't scripted.
봐봐.
뭐 웃어 또. 내 얼굴이 요즘 웃겨?
아니, 좋아서.
진짜?
800에는 처음이었고 오빠 목소리도 좋고 품도 너무 좋아서 되게 떨려서 저는 잠이 못 들 줄 알았는데
Obviously there was a worry about public image, as there is about everything, but I don't know, it was different. It was, you sort of got to see the real her and the real potential of her in a relationship, and that was something that I'd not experienced following K-idol groups ever. So We Got Married really sort of solidified that seeing K-pop idols in different forms is really important. And to be honest with you, after watching We Got Married, I then really fell in love with the group in terms of them as people, them as individual people and them as a group. And the same with Mamamoo is that, okay, the first few songs that I started listening to, I was a bit like, meh. But where I saw them on more and more variety shows, I couldn't help but root for them. I just wanted them to succeed because they all seemed to just really get on and love each other and support each other. And you can just see that in all their actions and everything they say, and their banter is so funny. Like, I love it so much. I love watching Solar on variety shows and Hwasa. When Hwasa did the show and did the song with Loco, I think I've never fallen in love with someone so much, and I'd never shipped anyone together until that moment. And then now, obviously, she does the programmes where, I can't remember the title, but where she's at home and they sort of follow her at home and stuff. Honestly, Mamamoo is probably my favourite, if not my most favourite idol group ever, solely for the understanding that their personalities just mesh so well. And I mean, obviously they're coming out with hit after hit at the moment. I think sort of Hip was a turning point for them, but Hwasa's solo career really has taken off, and it's just really nice to see them just be really supportive. And to be honest with you, it just hits differently. It just really hits differently. So I think that what the groups are doing at the moment is really fantastic, in all fairness. Wow, I sound like such a mum. Like, go, you girls. Or what's Regina George's mum with the camera, supporting. That's what I feel like right now. But I have to say, actually, that 2020 seems to be the year of female idol groups. They have some bangers at the moment. So for example, 3YE, their song is a bop. This song, for me, for a debut song, just hits, man. It's sick. It's such a good debut song to have. And ITZY, once again, sorry, I'm just gonna quickly, for 2020, ITZY, they can do no wrong. They're another group. I wish there were more things kind of like smaller entertainment companies do to really show ITZY's personality. I think JYP sort of are missing a trick somewhere. And I know people will probably give me a lot of stick because I haven't mentioned Twice. And I'll be completely honest with you, it's only really this year that I've gotten into Twice. I think after I heard Fancy, because before this, I had heard a couple of their songs, but they weren't like the hits. They were kind of sort of from the albums that I didn't really enjoy them. And I'm allowed to have that opinion, people, just saying. But this year after Fancy, I really decided to take time to explore Twice. And I have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised, and I have to take back all of my opinions that I had on Twice. The only reason why I didn't mention them sort of as being quite impactful on me is because it's only been this year that they've had an impact on me, to be honest with you. Whereas sort of Red Velvet, Mamamoo, Blackpink, they all just have a different feel to them. And I don't think I've explained myself very well, but I hope someone gets it. But they probably won't if they're a Twice fan. But I like Twice. I sound like I'm one of those people, please don't hate me. I'm like, no, to be fair, I'm now into Twice more, and I listen to them a lot more. So I created a Kpop group playlist on my Spotify. And I've got things like Breakthrough, I like Fancy, I like Feel Special, Trick It, More and More, Dance the Night Away, What Is Love, TT, Likey. They are my songs. And to be honest with you, I really like More and More. I loved the video, I loved the concept, I loved the outfit, the hair, honestly. So I did a reaction video to More and More, which never made it onto my YouTube channel, because to be honest with you, a lot of it was just me staring with my mouth open, because I loved the concept photos that they did. I loved the hair. Oh, whoever did the hair for them, honestly, just did a banging job. The only one I wasn't happy with was in More and More. I really liked Jaehyun's hair. The pink long really suited her. I loved it. Nayeon's hair, I felt like they could have done so much more with it. Like, everyone else got really, like, Momo got a beautiful blonde hair. I really like Dana's, but Nayeon's, I just really felt like they sort of did everyone else first and then went, oh shit, yeah, we forgot about her. We should probably, sorry, we'll just cut it. Like, it just was quite lackluster. But I just felt really sorry for her. Really sorry. But then again, I just really enjoyed their outfits. I really enjoyed the music video for More and More. And I'm quite excited to see what they have lined up for the future, to be honest with you. Lastly, I have to talk about Blackpink, because Blackpink solidified another understanding of female K-group idols. So, you know, Girls' Generation, they were cute, they got me into it, it was a bop. Miss A showed me the sultry, sexy, seductive side to female K-pop idols. Red Velvet and Mamamoo introduced me to seeing the personality and realising that the female K-pop idol groups aren't always super cautious, unlike their male counterparts, that actually they show so many different versatile sides. Blackpink showed me that women are hard. Like, they showed me that women have the power. They showed me that women rule. In all fairness, they completely rule, and they just had power behind them. To be honest with you, like, I can't describe it in any other way. And they again showed me a completely different side to female idol groups. And for that, like, I'll always be grateful, because to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Blackpink, I probably wouldn't have listened to much more female idol group songs. They really solidified my enjoyment of female idol groups, and they, to me, showed that they've got what the boys got. Do you know what I mean? Like, their concepts, their visuals just hit differently. They were up there with the big boys. They were playing. They weren't here to mess around. They weren't here to be cutesy and fun. And I think Blackpink really did set the tone of female power for this side of the 2000s. I mean, to be honest with you, like, the new song Ice Cream, it's catchy, but it's not, for me, it's not How You Like That. Do you know what I mean? Because How You Like That, when you first hear it, you're kind of a bit like, okay. And then the more and more you listen to it, you're like, oh yeah. And I think that's quite like a lot. That happens quite a lot with the Blackpink songs. But for the Ice Cream, I'm just like, I'm really annoyed at how they did Lisa's rap. They could have done so much more. I really feel like I'm missing another group that really has an impact on me. So they are my top 5 female idol groups that have all had a significant impact on me and have given me an impact to really appreciate female idol groups. Now, I'm just going to put this out there, is the fact that there are so many groups, there are so many female groups that are out there, and I'm sure that someone in the comments is going to tell me that, oh, what about this, what about that, your opinions are wrong, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, that is the nature of the beast, isn't it? We're all entitled to our own opinions, and for me, each one of these groups has had a different impact on me, like a different positive impact on me. And I think that by someone telling me that my opinion is wrong, I think is wrong, I think, you know, I'm not saying that I only listen to these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups. You know, like I said, these are the groups that had an impact and a memory. I have a memory with these groups, but that's not to say that I now don't listen to any other groups. You know, I listen, like, CLC's new song Helicopter is a banger. Luna, I adore Luna's songs. So yeah, there are I do listen to female idol groups, but for this conversation, for this first podcast, I wanted to talk about my first experiences with female idol groups, and it just so happens that the 5 are that for me. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video / podcast. If you want to hear more, then please do let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed it, then please do press that like button. And if you're feeling extra special, I would really, really, really appreciate if you could subscribe. 94% of the views that I get are unsubscribed to this channel. So I would really, really, really appreciate it if you are watching this, if you enjoyed it, if you could subscribe. I would love you very dearly for that. And yeah, there's potential that in the next one I'm going to go into more detail. There is potential for the next one I could continue on about the girls, but maybe potentially talk about solo women, because people like Chonga, people like Somi, when she goes solo, they also help build up my love for female K-pop idols and their songs. So if you're interested in that, then please do let me know down in the description. And if there are some female groups that you think that I should listen to that aren't as well known, so obviously JYP have just released a new girl group. Well, not, they haven't just released, back in April. Is it called Neezy? I'm going to put the name. I'll put the name here. This is the group I'm trying to say. Obviously, they've just come out. You've got 3YE. CLC has just released a new song. Luna, you know. So they're out. The women are fighting. They're doing it. They're doing it for the girls. I think the next podcast is going to be talking about the solo women, because I think it was quite difficult. But yeah, how can I also forget about IU? IU when I talk about solo people, because she's had a story. I hope you guys are all well and safe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.